what is the single most important thing as a More to Life Weekend team forms and starts their process together?
Two things. Being able to combine the task, what it is that we want to create, along with how we are while we do what we do. Focusing on creating the More to Life Weekend itself, but also as important is what's our space like while we do that? Are we driven? Are we frantic about it? Or are we peaceful and creative, enjoying the journey? At the same time, not any of the commitment. It's the combining of both that I think make our whole message the task and the process by which that task is accomplished. I think if you're not excited about what you're creating, if you're not passionate about it, why do it? Go do something that you're passionate about. Go do something that makes a difference in another area of your life. But if this is what is compelling for you, then let it matter. Have the enjoyment, have the excitement, have the whole trust in the life shocks that somehow or another you will be transformed in this process, because the whole thing is about waking up. And if I'm awake while I'm doing this, things that I do and how I do it are different than if I'm driven and in total have to make it happen kind of thing. Even I do create what I want, I'm not happy with it. It's combining this whole thing about having faith in myself, faith in the process, and faith that somehow or another I'm in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing.
There is more an experience of being in the right place at the right time while we're playing on team that we have access to.
Absolutely. And I think it's derived from some inner purpose. It's like, what's my purpose for doing this? What's my purpose for being a part of a team that's creating something that's transforming for loads of people, not just the people that are in the training, but the people who are on team, including the trainers. I mean, it's a transformative experience, period. Very difficult to be in that kind of a room and not change, not have some experience of transformation.
Yeah, that's one of the big things that we're going for, is that positive transformation from the team to the trainer to the trainees. But creating a More to Life weekend training in a new community, like we're trying to do in Southern California, takes some special considerations. What would you say is the Southern California community piece that we need to be the most aware of right now as we launch our event?
For me, it's anything that I am passionate about. If it doesn't go the way I want it to, if it doesn't go on my timeline, it's easy to get discouraged. It's, again, two things from my point of view, and that's not to become discouraged, but to see what the gift is in every life shock that's involved in the creation of this. And the second one is to stay connected as a community or as a group, whoever the people are that are making this happen. It's so much easier to create in a community. It's like if I'm not the only one, then when I'm not at my best, someone else will be and can give me a helping hand, and vice versa. When someone else is, into discouragement or disheartened about something, then I can lend a helping hand with them, and that's part of our process. So it's staying connected to myself and my own energetic space, staying connected to the people that are on the team, and then staying connected to the vision of what we want to create. It's about waking up to the life shocks always. They will always enlighten us.
And just to know that we are for each other as we do this as a team, that's a wonderful reminder, because there's always the task list in front of us of what needs to be done next and by what date and all of that, but there is more.
Yes, and that's the whole more to life than just making something happen that we think should happen. It's about being in alignment, our heart, being in alignment with other people and being in alignment with real reality.
You know, you mentioned the heart. We often don't talk about heart in our business, in our careers, in the work that we do in the world, but there's no denying it. And playing on team is a way to use this practice field for us to be in touch with our heart.
Absolutely, and so that it translates into your work, so that you are reminded of it while in service to this bigger picture, but you take it with you back to all the changes that we make are translatable into our daily life, whether it's at home or whether it's at work or whether it's with a hobby. That's the purpose of it, is being on team, is that I'm a better, different, more changed, transformed person as a result of having been on team. And that makes my life afterwards be more compelling, more congruent, more authentic. Why I love training so much is because I'm always have that sense of connection to the life shocks, to the fourness of life after having been in a training. It's like my baseline is elevated, and I am more sensitive to life shocks. And, you know, of course, I still have my blind spots and my, you know, growth areas like everybody else. It seems more hopeful to me. I have more faith in the direction that human beings are taking.
And you deliver trainings of all kinds all around the world. Why would hopefulness be so important to humanity?
Well, this isn't a more to life point of view. This is a Ann McMaster point of view. But I think we're at what I'm calling a portal of change. You know, I mean, we had massive worldwide changes back in the 60s, and then we had another big portal of change in the mid-80s when the Berlin Wall came down, the KGB broke up, the apartheid started, you know, crumbling, and there was just more of a worldwide sense of unity. And I think now is another one of those times of change where we can maximize the opportunity personally, but also maximize the opportunity for our families and for our workplace and for our world. It's the end of the Mayan calendar, and there's all this big hoorah about that, but it's also the beginning of something new. So why not maximize this change time, this portal of change, so that I can make the kind of difference that I want to make? It can be more conscious. I think it's an elevation of consciousness, a more awakeness in the world.
Yeah, and that speaks volumes of hope in general.
Indeed.
Anne, do you have a personal message that you'd like the More to Life Weekend team to know about for the March training in 2013?
Well, I see each training as a whole nother adventure. You know, a whole different journey that's on offer. And I also hold that it's a sacred time, because this time of transformation, whether you're being born or whether you're dying, there's also the new, more congruent version of myself and the death to this pretense of either I'm too much or I'm not enough, all of that stuff. So this birth-death process is taking place all the time, and in the training room, it's especially acknowledged, if you will. It's the purpose. I look forward to being a part of that with this team and creating a new group of people in a new location. I love doing it in a new place. It has a whole special, different kind of feel. It's like a pioneering feel. And I guess I'm fundamentally a pioneer. I love working with pioneers, so we'll be pioneering together, and I just love the feel of that.
Well, thank you, Anne.